welcome to Faithful Grace Studio. I'm Mindy. I'm the creator here at Faithful Grace, and I'm excited to share this project with you. I am in the process of making a batch of ATCs, or artist trading cards, or affirmation cards, whatever you want to call them. In the art world, they're typically called ATCs. They are a very specific size. They are 2.5 by 3.5. And in the art world, sometimes you will see an artist or a group of artists promoting a trading card event, an ATC event, and it's literally where artists create works of art on these little cards, and then they trade them so that other artists get to see their work, they get to see other artists' work. It's just a fun thing to do. I'm not creating these ATCs for trading purposes. I'm creating them for gifting purposes. One of the things that I like to do is have a stack of these, or a bunch of them, in coordinating sets, usually 8 to 10 in a set, sometimes 6 or 7, but usually 8 to 10 in a set, tied together nicely like this. And then that will be just a little give out or handout or gift that I'll give to somebody. Maybe, let's say somebody stops by, my package got delivered to them, and they're nice enough to bring it to me, and they stop by to bring it to me. I'll give them a little gift, and that's what these are for. Sometimes I'll take them with me when I'm out visiting clients, and if a particular person crosses my path that I think needs a pick-me-up, or maybe it's somebody at a store that does an exceptionally good job helping fix my problem or helping provide me service, I'll give them a little stack of affirmation cards or ATCs. So I like to have a bunch of them. I am currently out, other than this set. I've got 5 sets right here. And I'm not going to untie these to show you, but I will show you some of these. These are finished sets. I'll leave those right there. And then these are some components that I'm using to finish more sets. So let's talk about what this process is. I make coordinating ATCs or affirmation cards using Masterboards. And you've probably heard the concept of Masterboard. You may even know about Masterboards. Maybe you've created one. This is an example of a Masterboard that I will create a set of cards with at some point. It's just collage. It's scraps of paper that have been collaged on this piece of paper, and then I painted some on it. I put some paint marks. It's got some transparent tissue paper on it. It's just a conglomeration of things. It's what is a true example of a mixed media. There's paint, there's tissue paper, there's actual paper, there's painted paper, there's dyed. This is a painted piece right here. This is a painted piece right here. There's dyed paper in here. This piece is dyed, and then there's paint on top of that, and it's glued, and so this is what is considered a Masterboard. Sometimes these Masterboards, the ones that I make, are made on pieces of cardboard. This is a pack of that poster board that you can get at the Dollar Tree. I think there's 6 or 8 pieces in a pack for $1.25 or whatever their price is now. It might be more expensive than that, but anyway, it's still inexpensive. But I also make Masterboards like this on cereal boxes and other types of food boxes like that, so that when I'm ready to cut them up, I can cut them into the appropriate size, and then make a set of cards from this Masterboard. So one day we will do a Masterboard together, but for today I just wanted to show you these are a bunch of Masterboards that I cut up, and they're put in sets. You will never find two cards in a set that match, but I do like them to coordinate. So these all kind of coordinate. They're same color palette. They some of them have some of the same elements because they're cut out of the same Masterboard. But there's a bunch of them in here that are ready to be, this is actually 2 sets. These are ready to be made into sets of ATC cards. Now I also have some that are, I'm going to move that out of the way. I have some that are a little further along. This is a set that is complete. I just have not tied it together. So most of my ATCs or affirmation cards have some sort of message on them. They either have affirmations, sometimes they have scriptures, sometimes they have just words, random words. These are a little quippy. Sorry, I'm late, but I didn't want to come. I have absolutely no desire to fit in. Common sense is so rare these days, it should be classified as a superpower. So these are kind of witty and cheeky. This set is. It's got some lace on it. It's got some hand-painted watercolor botanical pieces on there that I had in my stash that I had painted a while back. So here's this is a set of quippy, quirky, cheeky kind of affirmation cards or ATCs. This set is more motivational. Practice like you've never won, perform like you've never lost, never measure yourself with someone else's ruler. If you stumble, make it part of the dance, be different, da, da, da. So this is a motivational set. These probably are finished, although I do want to go back and ink some of these, so I'll probably ink the edges of these, and they'll probably be done as is. I think that just there's enough bright colors along with the quote or the saying that it doesn't really need anything else. This set, I have put on this set some pink watercolor flowers, fancy cuts that I had, or fussy cuts that I had in my stash, but I also want to put some sort of affirmation or something like that on here. So I may use some of these. These are not the perfect color, but they'll coordinate. So I'll probably use some of these, and I usually, if it's a set of 8, I usually make sure at least 4 of them have the have a saying on it of some sort. Not always, but usually. Sometimes every single one does, and that's okay too. So those I will put on these cards in some way, shape, or form, or some area. So let's actually do those together. So what I like to do is lay them all out. And you'll notice in this set, some of the flowers are very similar. Different but similar. These are very similar. These two are very similar. So I'll kind of put those near each other because I want to make sure that what I add to them or do to them now makes them distinctively different, if that makes sense. So these have been, I cut these out. These are part of a ephemera piece that comes in some of my kits. And I cut them out the way they were, in the shapes they were in on that ephemera piece. But they don't have to stay that way. We can cut them whatever shape we want. So if I want to put this one here, it doesn't have to stay in this shape. As a matter of fact, I'm going to cut it just a little bit, make it more of a square, and I'm going to put this one on that right there. And it's going to stick off a little tiny bit because I want it to. And I'll just probably just come through here and just randomly lay these down. Okay, something like that is what I want them to look like. So now I have got some distinction on these that are similar, some just very distinction here and here. So I'm happy with the way these are set, so I'm just going to start gluing them down. Now you may notice some of these are not specifically flat. That is a challenge with some of the substrates that I use for, especially like the less expensive substrates or the food boxes. Sometimes they warp fairly significantly when they're being when you're putting glue on them. But once they're all completely done, once I've got everything on them I possibly want on them, then I typically will take them and put them under my bricks. And that just gives them some weight to lay down and lay flat. Sometimes I have to mist the back of them just a little bit, and I'm happy to do that. Never want to miss the front. You never know what's going to happen to the ink or the glue or the paint on the front of them. Usually it's not a problem, but you just never know. Sometimes I may do some embellishment or outlining with like a Stabilo pen or a watercolor pencil, and you want to make sure that you don't hit those with water because they will smear. So if I have to mist them, I will mist them on the back. Actually, I like the way that's kind of crooked. So I'll mist them on the back, put them under the bricks for a couple hours, sometimes overnight, depending on how bad they are or what else I've got going on. And I apologize for all the sniffing. I had just finished sneezing about 12 times when I started this video, and so something has my allergies going nuts. So there is a finished set. Of course, they need to dry, but there's a finished set, and once they're completely dry, once all the glue is dry, I will probably ink these around the edges as well. I just think it makes a nice little finish to the edge. Matter of fact, let me do one just so you can see. I do always wear gloves when I ink because my skin is weird. Things that wouldn't stick to somebody else's skin sticks to mine. So I try to not have ink on my hands all the time, but there's almost always some paint. See, I just think that just adds that finishing touch. Sometimes I will ink in a contrasting color. Sometimes I will ink in the same color. Like I could have seen myself very easily, had we not been on camera and I had time and wasn't going to do this right now, I might would have inked the edges in these in a fuchsia or a pink, possibly even an aqua color, just to have it look a little different. But I think this is a nice finish. So yeah, there you go. That's how I put together a set of these lovely ATCs, or artist trading cards. You'll see that this stack is a great example how I very rarely make them the exact size of the card. The card is the right size, but then there's pieces that stick off of it, and I just think that adds some whimsy to it. but this pack will end up being tied together with some sort of ribbon or string, and it'll be like this, and so there we go. I hope you enjoyed hearing about this process, and I hope that you will enjoy making your own version of an ATC or affirmation card at some point.